My 49M daughter, 18F, took out an unwanted guest and saved her brother, 21M. She's a hero. Hello Waffle Gang, been a little while since I've been on here, but I wanted to share a story about incident that happened at Christmas and how my daughter L, 18F, sorted out an unwanted guest, and in doing so, saved her brother's life. Just a reminder, as per previous posts, see my profile, I'm happily married to my wife Natalia, 48F, of 25 years, 26 years in May, and have 4 kids. Tony, 27M, Blake, 21M, L, 18F, and Sandy, 13F. Before I go into the story, let me give you some background on my family's involvement in martial arts. I've been practicing martial arts in various forms for 30 plus years. For the last 20 years I've been a karate practitioner, Sandan a 3-road degree black belt in Shito Ryu, and have been a sensei of the dojo I practice at for the last 10 years or so. All of my kids, with the exception of my son Tony who only came into my life a year ago, though he does Muay Thai, as does my son Blake, have practiced karate. My wife also practiced sambo, her dad is Russian, and boxing, which is funnily enough how we met. Nothing hotter than a beautiful woman who can kick your ass in the boxing ring and then shag you in the backseat of your car afterwards. Too much detail? Face with tears of joy, face with tears of joy, face with tears of joy. My daughter Elle has probably been the one most dedicated to martial arts. For the last couple of years she has been training at an MMA gym, run by a former student of mine. Elle, who is at university studying to be teacher, has also been doing amateur MMA fights and is scary when she's in the ring. I've sparred with her and am a lot bigger than her, 6 feet 5 inches 115 kilograms vs 5 feet 9 inches 65 kilograms. For such a beautiful, sweet and caring girl, she scares the shit of me a little when she's in fight mode, took me down a few times. Now I've established that, let's move on to Christmas Day and the incident. In my last post I mentioned my son Blake had gotten engaged to his lovely fiancée Jocelyn, 22F, and are expecting their first child very soon. What I didn't know until recently is for the last year or so Jocelyn has been stalked and harassed by her ex-boyfriend, who we'll call Dickless for this story. In last few months things have ramped up since he found she is engaged and is pregnant. Couple of weeks before Christmas, while Blake and Jocelyn were heading to see a movie, Dickless confronted them and made threats. Thing got physical as he tried to slap Jocelyn, however Blake, being a martial artist and is big as well, 6 feet 3 inches 100 kilograms, grabbed and tossed him like a ragdoll. Cops were called but Dickless ran away before they got there. Cops have been useless so far. Everything went to shit on Christmas Day. Whole family were over at my brother Jim, Giacomo, 62M, and Sil Maria, 58F, house for lunch. Before lunch, Dickless decided to show up and try to ruin the day. Before he could cause a disturbance, Blake confronted him in the driveway and told him to leave. Dickless tried to get physical again and Blake put him on his ass. Blake told him again to leave and headed back to the house. Not long after he turned his back, Dickless picked up a metal star picket from my brother's garden and hit Blake on the back of his head, knocking him out. Dickless then started kicking Blake while he was on the ground. Hearing the commotion, my daughters Elle and Sandy come outside to see Dickless kicking Blake. Sandy runs inside to alert me. My son Tony, my brothers Paolo and Jed and I come storming out at full speed ready to annihilate the shithead who's hurting my boy. However, instead of this we see Elle absolutely going to town on Dickless, beating the shit out of him. According to Elle, when she saw Dickless hurting Blake, she went into fight mode. First move was a flying knee to his chest which got him on the ground. After that she got on top of him and basically did a ground and pound. Fair to say she beat him good. After that police and ambulances were called. I managed to get Elle off Dickless and my wife and I comforted Blake and her until ambulance and police arrived. Tony restrained Dickless until police arrived. Tony's a big guy too at 6 feet 8 inches and around 120 kilograms. Fair to say I was scared for my son and angry that this little C*NT harmed my family, but proud of my daughter for being a boss and effectively saving her brother. I don't care what anyone says, she's a hero in my eyes. Aftermath. Blake is okay, he required stitches and a night in hospital, had some bruising and cuts to his ribs and face and a concussion, but has pretty much fully recovered. Jocelyn is still very shaken up and it's a lot of caused stress, which is not good for pregnancy. However my wife, who is a psychiatrist, has been counseling her through it. We will get her through this. Jocelyn's brother Brendan, 18M, who lives with us is also helping as well. He wasn't at the Christmas this year, was in Tasmania visiting family, though wishes he had been there to see Elle pummeling Dickless. He hates that guy and has a little bit of crush on Elle. Dickless went to hospital as well. Not sure of the injuries that Elle inflicted but whatever they were he was in hospital for 2 days before he was released, at which point the cops took him into custody. He's facing very serious charges, potentially attempted murder, and already has criminal record. According to Jocelyn, he did time for drug dealing, assault and attempted R**PE. Fucking scumbag who got a slap on the wrist for serious crimes, so if found guilty will face significant jail time. Fortunately, my brother had security cameras so everything was captured. I've watched it once, will never again. Not great seeing someone hurting your kid, no matter how old they are. Elle is doing great. We were worried she could face charges but none were filed and she's in the clear. I think Dickless was embarrassed he got beaten up by a girl, no longer has power. She's back at uni now and still doing MMA training. Her girlfriend Cindy, 19F, has been a big support through all this. She's a boss as well. Smiling face. Blake and Jocelyn's wedding is next weekend. I will be walking Jocelyn down the aisle. Elle is maid of honor. My daughter Sandy and Jocelyn's cousin Tammy are bridesmaids. My son Tony is Blake's best man, my nephew Tommy, 24M, youngest son of my brother Paolo, and Jocelyn's brother Brendan are groomsmen. My granddaughter Tabitha, 4F, and my grandniece Miley, 6F. And yes, she's named after Miley Cyrus' face with stuck-out tongue and tightly closed eyes. My niece is huge fan. My sister Lizzie, 51F, my Bil Rui, 55M, nephew Benji, 29M, and niece Isabella, 20F, fly in from New Zealand tomorrow night for the wedding and will be staying with us. Full house, yay. Face with stuck-out tongue and tightly closed eyes. My sister is a boss as well, Maori Moko, face tattoo, and all. She's the matriarch of our family after mum passed away, takes the role very seriously, i.e. treats me like a kid's, bosses me around, tells me off when I don't listen to my wife. So much like our mum, face with stuck-out tongue and tightly closed eyes. My kids adore my sister, especially Elle, a bit of hero worship there. Jocelyn is due to give birth in late April, mentioned in the last post it's going to be a girl. They plan to name her after my late mum Anahira, Maori word for angel, and my wife Natalia, so Anahira Natalia will be arriving soon and we are excited to meet her. Smiling face. Anyway, that's all for now. Thought this would be a good story to share here. While not the most pleasant story, I hope that you can celebrate Elle and the other strong women in this world. We really need them, especially now in today's world. Until next time, take care and live your best lives. Much love to you all, Red Heart Hash.